everyone, so we're going to have a look at the first paper from the 2012 AQE. Okay, we're going to look at question 6 first of all. All you simply had to do here was to divide his age by 5, because Jack's age is 5 times David's age. Okay, so you just had to divide by 5, so it's just doing the inverse there. With question 7, just because it is an algebraic equation doesn't mean it has to be treated differently from any other equation we would do. We often had these kinds of questions in our new Heinemann work, but it was just that it was a missing number. It would have been a question mark. We just want to know what n is, so we've got to add the 17 to the 39 because we took away 17 from the total. So if we add those two together, that would give us 56. And you can go back over and check it and say, well, 56 take away 17, yes, that will give me 39. I've got that right. For question 8, we were told that the rectangle has an area of 18 centimeters squared, and we're told that one side is 9, so the other side has to be 2, because 9 times 2 is 18. Then we want to work out the perimeter, so we know that these sides are equal, so 9 plus 2 is 11, 9 and 2 is 11, add the two together and that will give us a perimeter of 22 centimeters. Okay? Then we've got, here's 2 questions from our poetry work. Okay? It's bold for number 9 because I'm not a coward, I am bold. Now, being bold doesn't mean that you are doing something bad. It means that you can stand up for your rights, and sometimes you would say that there's a bold knight. But you would also know, because you know that the opposite of being a coward is to be brave. So there was a clue there as well to help you. Rustlings was the sound, okay? Rustlings, almost like as if you hear the rustling of the wind, or we talk about the leaves sometimes rustling. So that was the describing sound in that line there in verse 2. Okay, yeah, you can skip through those. Number 19, okay, you know that in 1 centimetre there's 10 millimetres, okay, and you know that in 1 metre there is 100 centimetres, so you can say 10 times 100 would give me 1,000, so your answer to 19 is 1,000. In 20 you had 2 going in, so 2 plus 2 is going to give you 4, times by 4 is going to give you 16, and then for this one you're told the output, which is 40, so we're just going to do the inverse going backwards. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing, so we divide 40 by 4 gives us 10, and subtract 2, which gives us 8. Then the last question there on 21, there are 2 different ways you could do this. I would suggest making sure you do write out and do working out, because I've heard lots of people losing marks because they're not doing their working out, and they're doing everything in their head. So try to maybe write something down so you know what it is you're actually doing. You have 30 and you take away 7, okay, and that gives you then 23, because 7 people get off, and then you have 23 and 11 people get on, so that gives you 34. 34 and 10 people get off, that's going to give you 24, and 24 plus your 5 is going to give you, because 5 people get on, 29. You could have put that into 2 steps, and you could have just said, right, I have 30 people on board, then I know that 7 get off and 11 get on, so I know that 11 take away 7 gives me 4, so that's going to give me my 34, and then I have 34, and I know that 10 people get off and 5 people get on, so 10 minus 5 gives me 5, so I'm going to take away 5, and that's going to leave me with 29 people. Okay, so that's 2 ways you could have done that. Next question I'm going to go through is 23. So it was the minutes in a song. You have one that's 3 minutes 40 and another that's 3 minutes 30. So this is, if you struggle with time, this is a really good way to do it. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay, I'm going to add 3 minutes first of all. Okay, so that's going to give me 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Then I'm going to bridge, and instead of adding the whole 30 seconds, I'm going to add 20 seconds, because I know that that'll bring me up to the next full minute. And then I'm going to add on my 10 seconds after that, and that'll give me 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay, so if you struggle with time, that's a really good way to do that question. Then we'll go through our proofreading and editing work here. So we've got a piece of writing, okay, so we've got a passage, and we're going to read through it first and identify anything you think is wrong, okay. So we're having a lovely time in Florida. Yep. Our flight was long but pretty comfortable. Yesterday we spent the day at Disney Resort. It's very noisy and busy with queues of people for every ride. So you might not see everything first of all, and that's okay. Just identify anything that you see the first time around you're reading it, okay? I loved them all, even the scary ones, but Sam got really sick on one of the roller coasters and had to sit down. Today, that's the end of that, so that should be a full stop there, I think. Today we visited a sea park, okay, and saw dolphins, whales, sea lions and penguins. They were trained to do tricks like playing basketball and dancing to music. All seems okay. Mums, we're not talking about multiple mums, we're talking about one mum. Claire's talking about her mum. So it's mum is having a good time, especially at the huge shopping mall. I've never seen so many shops in one place. Dad's really looking forward to a day on the golf course tomorrow. The rest of us will chill, I know that's spelt wrong, there should be 2 L's there, out at the pool. Our villa's even got its own pool. Can you believe it? Oh, she's asking a question there, so that should be a question mark. I hope you're keeping well. Send all my love. Wish you were here, Claire. Okay, so I've read through it the first time and I've seen some errors. Maybe I've not picked up on everything, and that's okay. So a question mark is needed. I remember that was line 11. Okay, I'd already identified that. Then a word has been used incorrectly, and I know that was line 1 because I identified that we've used the wrong R. Then there is a missing apostrophe. Oh, that was the mums one. So there was mums, and it was line 8. This one there would be the spelling error, and I remember that was chill, so that was the line 10. And then the last question then was the comma that was used incorrectly, and the comma was here where we had sit down and should have been a full stop. So that was our line 5. So that's all of those, and that's a really good way to go through those. Our question 31. Okay, so in question 31, you had that it was for 200 grams, it would cost you £1.25. And then we wanted to work out what was 1 kilogram, and you know that 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, so you're just going to multiply that by 5, and you multiply this side by 5 then, and that will give you £6.25. Okay, so that's how you work out that question. 32, so you know that's 19, that's 60, so you just take them away from one another, give you 30. And here, okay, you have divided this starting number, okay, by 10, so you've got to divide your answer by 10. You shouldn't be sitting working these all out. It's only 1 mark for both of them, so it's a half a mark for each one, so you shouldn't be sitting here working this all out. You're using this calculation. And then for B, what you have is you've got the original, okay, answer, and you've divided it instead by instead of using the 5,550, you have divided by 555, which is this number divided by 10. So that means you're going to have to multiply this, okay, this number by 10. You've divided that by 10, so you've got to multiply that by 10. So it's looking at the kind of number story, okay, and that will give you 1,120. Okay, so you've just essentially stuck a 0 in the end, but we know we've times that by 10. Okay, we're just going to skip through those questions there. I think they're all okay, pretty straightforward. You've got the vertices and faces, which is very, very simple and straightforward. You've just got to learn the faces and vertices and edges, and they're actually even given to you, so it's really, really straightforward. Margaret buys her petrol for a car. Okay, so for 10 kilometers it costs her £1.40, so we've just got to multiply the 1.40 by 2 to give us £2.80 there. Okay, for 46 then, this is a little bit trickier. She drives from her house to the airport. Okay, the petrol for this journey costs £4.20. How far is the airport from her house? So we know that 1.40 to travel 10 kilometers. Okay, and you know then, but I actually can see that I know that 140 plus the 280 is going to give me 420, so I know that that's 20 plus 10 is 30. Or what you could have said is, do you know that it's for 10 kilometers it's equal to 140, For 20 kilometres, where you've multiplied by 2, it's going to be £2.80. But if you wanted to go to 30 kilometres, and you could work it through that way, which would go times by 3, £1.40 times by 3 would give you £4.20. Okay, so whichever way you want to sit and work it out, you could have just added the two values together. You could have said, oh, I know that 10 kilometres is going to give me 140, so I know that 30 kilometres would give me 420. Okay, and then this one was a little bit tricky, but just got to think about it. Okay, so you got Jim is taller than William, Bob is taller than William, Zach is taller than Jim, and Jim is taller than Bob. So we know that nobody else has been told that William is taller than him. So I'm going to put William as the shortest down here. I'm just going to put W. Okay. Then I know that Jim is taller than William and Bob is taller than William. So I know that Jim and Bob are both taller than William. Okay, so I'll put them both there because I'm not sure which one's taller yet. Then it tells us that Zach is taller than Jim. Okay, so Zach's definitely going to go above Jim. And Jim is taller than Bob. So Jim is taller than Bob. Zach is taller than Jim. So what we'll do is we'll put Bob in here, Jim there, and then I'd read through all of the statements again and check that they're correct. So, Jim is taller than William. Yes, we've got that. Bob is taller than William. Yes, that makes sense. Zach is taller than Jim. Yes. Jim is taller than Bob. Yes. So it goes William, Bob, Jim, Zach. I think that makes sense for you. Just reading the information and instruction and ordering it. Okay. And I think that's us with that paper. I hope that's helped you with that test paper 1 from 2012.